Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
Today we're cracking open a stack of sources, excerpts from a book, Fast as the Wind.
Right.
And we're plunging deep into this story. It's got mystery, escape, these kind of unexpected connections.
Yeah, and a hidden past, definitely, a long shadow.
Exactly. This isn't, your average straightforward story.
No, not at all. It's really complex, like threads weaving together. You've got personal histories, these chance meetings.
And secrets. Secrets people are holding on to that just blow up later.
Totally. They impact everyone.
So our mission today is basically to pull out the key bits, the important nuggets from these pages. Help you, the listener, understand the twists and turns without getting totally lost.
Like a shortcut to getting the whole picture.
Exactly. Your shortcut to this pretty fascinating tale. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right. So we start off, it's this beautiful spring morning, Torquay, England.
Okay, picture it.
Yeah, lovely scenery. Torquay is there on the hills. But then you have these warships in the bay, very still, very solemn.
Okay, and into this scene comes a yacht.
A small yacht, yeah, but splendid looking. The Seamew anchors in Torquay Harbor.
But the peace doesn't last for one guy on board.
No, exactly. There's a man leaning over the side, seems lost in thought, and suddenly, boom, a gun fires from one of the warships. Startles him.
Okay.
But the sound, it does something more. It sends his thoughts like miles away, specifically to Dartmoor.
Dartmoor, now that feels important. Why would a warship's gun make him think of a bleak moor?
That's the hook, isn't it? Sets up the mystery right away.
Yeah. And this guy, we find out, is Picton Woodridge. He owns the yacht.
And with him is Captain Ben Bruce, a good friend of Picton's dad, the late Admiral Woodridge.
Right, the family history. Crucial stuff here.
Very crucial. The Admiral had 2 sons, Hector, the older one, and Picton, younger.
Big age gap.
10 years, yeah. And Hector is described as, well, hasty, headstrong, willful.
Okay. Different from Picton.
Seems like it. Picton was maybe a bit lonely. His mother died when he was born, and the Admiral really doted on him.
And there's this tragedy at the heart of it all.
A terrible tragedy, yeah. Involving Hector, the older son. Something about a woman's wiles.
Wow. And this just shattered the family.
Completely. Caused the Admiral to retire, and then he died soon after. Probably shock, grief.
And the Admiral left his money to Picton.
The bulk of it, yeah. But what's interesting is Picton immediately feels responsible.
Responsible how?
He wants to make sure Hector gets his proper share, when the time is right, despite whatever Hector did or was accused of doing. Shows real loyalty.
Okay, that tells you something about Picton and Captain Ben Bruce. He's not just a friend.
No, he left the Navy when the Admiral died, and Picton asks him for a big favor.
Which is?
To manage the Haverton horses, the family estate in Yorkshire famous for its horses.
Oh, okay. Seems reasonable.
And even the current trainer, this guy Blackett, he approves because Ben was so close to the Admiral.
But there's more to it.
Oh, yeah. Picton reveals the real reason. The deeper reason he needs a gun.
It's not the horses.
Not really, no. He needs Ben's help to clear Hector's name.
Wow. So Picton is convinced Hector's innocent.
Utterly convinced, whatever crime it was.
And Ben's reaction?
Well, there's this pause. Ben goes silent, makes Picton pretty anxious.
I bet.
But then Ben agrees, calls it a grave mystery, says it'll take someone cleverer than him.
But he'll help.
Absolutely. Pledges total loyalty, says he'll stick at nothing for Picton and Hector. That bond, that loyalty, it's huge.
Okay, key theme right there. Loyalty. So Picton and Ben plotting in Torquay.
Yeah, trying to figure out how to clear Hector's name. But just nearby, something else massive is happening.
What's that?
Around the same time, a man's escaped from Dartmoor Prison.
The Dartmoor connection again.
Exactly. And we meet this old boatman in Torquay, Brack.
Okay.
He gets questioned by Carl Hackler, a prison warder, looking for the escapee.
Does he have a description?
Yeah, bandaged hands, cloth around his neck, old sailor clothes.
And Brack, what's he like?
He's described as a sly old sea dog, and he lives up to it.
How so?
He totally lies to Hackler, spins this yarn about seeing the guy heading out to sea on a tramp steamer, throws him right off the scent.
So he's maybe sympathetic?
Yeah.
Or just likes messing with authority?
Maybe a bit of both. He seems quite pleased with himself for fooling Hackler.
Okay. So escapee on the loose, Brack playing games.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Picton and Ben.
They go ashore from the Seamew, visiting a friend, Dick Langford.
Dick Langford, okay.
He lives at Torwood, near Torquay. And as they're walking up to the house,
Yeah.
they just catch a glimpse a fleeting sight of a man slipping through a hedge.
No way.
And Dick, totally oblivious, jokes, wonder if he's that chap from Dartmoor.
Oh, man. How does Picton react?
It startles him, big time. Because something about the guy, the way he walked the long stride, felt familiar.
Familiar, like Hector.
Yeah. He wonders if Ben noticed, too. But they kind of let it go for the moment.
Wow. Subtle connection there.
Very subtle. So they go on to Dick's house, meet his sister, Rita Langford, and she has her own story. She tells Picton about finding this man, suffering, looked hunted, just sitting by the roadside near their garden.
The same guy. Maybe.
Sounds very likely. Hungry, footsore, totally exhausted.
And what did Rita do?
Her reaction is pure kindness. Takes him around the back, gives him food, insists he takes some money, even though he refused at first, and she gives him one of Dick's old coats and some boots.
Wow. Just helped a total stranger who looked rough.
Yeah, but she said despite how he looked, she felt he was a gentleman. He then walked off towards Torquay.
Okay, Picton must be connecting dots now.
Oh, absolutely. His reaction is really telling, not just pity.
What does he do?
He immediately asks her, like really earnestly, did you tell anyone? Did Dick see him? And begs her not to mention it to a soul. Says he has good reasons.
Good reasons meaning he suspects it's Hector.
Almost certainly. And Rita, she's curious, obviously, but she agrees straight away, promises to keep quiet.
Another act of kindness, just keeping a secret. Contrast with the whole woman's wiles thing that ruined Hector.
Big contrast. Pure decency from Rita.
So after that intense visit, Picton and Ben head back to the yacht.
Yeah, rowed by Brack, the boatman. Picton's really moody now, preoccupied.
Can imagine.
Brack's just chatting away, asking about horse racing tomorrow. Just normal life, bumping up against this huge secret.
Right. Now the story takes us back to that escaped man.
Yes. And we find out Brack, the boatman, actually runs into him, sees him walking kind of wildly in the road.
Okay.
But Brack's sharp. He sees the guys putting it on, acting desperate, calls him a gentleman.
And the man?
Admits it. Says he was a gentleman, hopes he still is.
Does Brack recognize him?
He looks closer, notices the bandaged hands, and crucially sees marks on one hand, like teeth marks? Deep ones?
Teeth marks?
From what?
We don't know yet, but it sparks something in Brack. A realization.
What does he realize?
He connects it to his own innocent brother on the moor, and it clicks. He basically says, you're Hector Woodridge, aren't you? And you're innocent.
Whoa, just like that.
Pretty much. Hector gasps. Brack knows. Incredible. What does Brack do?
Immediately promises to help. Says he'll hide him. Tells Hector to trust him, leave it all to him. Another moment of just instant loyalty and trust from Brack.
Brack's turning out to be pretty key in this.
Absolutely vital for Hector.
So later, Hector must tell his story. Once he's safe.
Yeah, likely on the Seamew. He tells Picton and Ben everything. Remember that gun boom that startled Picton?
Yeah.
That was the signal for Hector's escape from Dartmoor.
Ah, connects back.
He talks about hiding on the moor, determined to be free. But then, the terrifying part.
Where?
He hears this sound behind him. Unearthly, he calls it. Then a thud. He realizes. A bloodhound is on his track.
Oh, God. That's nightmare fuel.
Totally. The horror of thinking this brute is going to pull him down.
What did he do?
He fought it. A desperate, savage fight, grappling with it, getting bitten, scratched those bandaged hands Brack saw.
The teeth marks.
Exactly. But he holds on, throttles the hound until it's dead.
Jesus. Just raw survival.
He said the relief was immense, overwhelming. So much so, he fainted right there next to the dead hound.
Wow. But he couldn't stay there.
No, he knew another hound would be coming. So quick thinking kicks in.
What did he do?
Stripped off his prison clothes, laid them on the dead hound to confuse the scent.
Smart. Risky, but smart.
Then, naked except for his vest, he heads for a farmhouse he saw. Collapses at the feet of the man there.
And the man.
Looks at him with pity. Another moment of kindness. This is the guy Brack calls Brother Bill.
So many people helping him. It's amazing.
It really is. And Brack's plan works. There was this lucky break.
Yeah.
Carl Hackler, the prison guy, his boat crashes while he's trying to chase Brack, causes a delay.
Giving Brack the window he needed.
Exactly. Gets Hector safely onto the Seamew.
So Hector's safe, recovering on the yacht.
Yeah, while the yacht cruises around, he gets his strength back. But he's changed.
How so?
The ordeal, the trauma. It altered him. Picton even thinks he wouldn't recognize his own brother if he passed me in the street.
That's profound. The experience left a deep mark.
Definitely. But Ben reassures Hector, tells him it's safe to go ashore now.
Why?
Because as far as anyone knows, Hector Woodridge is either dead on Dartmoor or vanished overseas. The identity is gone.
Right, so they head back to Haverton, the family estate.
Eventually, yeah. Back to Yorkshire. Picton has to lie to the housekeeper, Mrs. Yeoman.
What's the lie?
Tells her Ben's still on the yacht, doing repairs, just to cover for Hector being there secretly. Mrs. Yeoman's not entirely convinced, though.
Life at Haverton must be strange.
Heavy.
Very. Picton feels it. The Admiral's death, Hector's situation. It casts this gloom over the place, even though it's beautiful.
Yeah, the sources describe it as magnificent. Park, oaks, lake, river.
Famous training grounds for horses, too. Blackett, the trainer, turns out good ones.
But Picton feels lonely. Wants Ben around.
Yeah, needs that support. The weight of it all is clearly on him.
And then Dick Langford comes to visit.
Right.
Rita's brother. Right, Picton invited him. Dick enjoys the visit, seems like a cheerful guy. And importantly, Blackett and Mrs. Yeoman approve of him.
So he's fitting in. Maybe a hint of something with Rita later?
Could be. His visit also gives Ben an excuse to supposedly go back to the Seamew for a bit. Keeps up the pretense.
Maintains the cover story. Meanwhile, what's Hector thinking?
He's reflecting a lot. Feels he doesn't deserve Picton's kindness, but he's determined to make it up to him.
And the people who helped him.
He wants to reward them. The Dartmoor farmer, Brother Bill, Brack, the boatman.
And Rita.
And definitely Rita. He calls her the gracious lady, remembers her kindness so vividly, the coat, the boots, the food, her words.
That act really stuck with him.
Deeply. He hopes to find her again when his work is done. And he specifically contrasts her purity with the other woman.
Ah, yes. The woman whose wiles started it all. Let's talk about her.
Okay. Lenise Elroy.
Lenise Elroy. And she's connected to
Fletcher Denyer. Described as unscrupulous, lives by his wits, hangs around racecourses. Their relationship is useful, not loving.
Got it. And Lenise was in Torquay, too.
Yes. And she had this really unsettling moment there.
What happened?
She caught a glimpse of a face at a window, just for a second. And she thought it was Hector Woodridge.
While he was supposed to be in prison.
Exactly. So she dismissed it. Couldn't be possible.
But then Hector escapes.
Right. And the news of his escape, combined with that memory, it starts to really bother her. She gets uneasy, feels like something bad is coming.
So she decides she needs to find out more.
Yeah, she seeks out Carl Hackler, the prison warder she saw in Torquay.
And asks him directly.
Pretty much. Confirms he's from Dartmoor, confirms a man escaped, then asks, was it Hector Woodridge, the one tried for murder?
Bold move. What does Hackler say?
He says it's likely the same man. Lenise pushes, will he be caught? Could he be dead on the moor? Could he have escaped by sea?
And Hackler's thoughts?
He thinks capture's likely if he's alive, death on the moor is possible, but sea escape. Improbable. He thinks Hector would head out of the country.
And Lenise gives him money.
Yeah, a sovereign. Which just makes Hackler even more suspicious about why she cares so much.
So Hackler decides to talk to Brack.
Yeah. Asks Brack about the smart woman he took out in his boat. Tries to pump him for info, suggesting she's rich, important.
But Brack
clams up. Plays dumb. The sly old sea dog routine again.
Meanwhile, Lenise is doing her own research.
Looking through old newspapers. She sees Picton Woodridge is winning races.
Wow.
But what really catches her eye is a small note about Picton's yacht, the Seamew.
What about it?
It says the yacht left Torquay during the night, and its departure was rather unexpected.
Oh boy, she's putting it together.
Absolutely, the timing. Picton's yacht in Torquay exactly when Hector escapes, and then it vanishes suddenly in the night.
The implications are huge.
Terrifying for her. She starts shivering, realizing Hector might have actually gotten onto that yacht.
Yeah.
And that Picton and Ben helped him.
And the fear is revenge.
Yeah. That Hector, now free, will come after her. This thought just torments her. She feels trapped. Thinks she might have to kill herself if she doesn't confess, but fears Hector would kill her if she did. It shows how deep her guilt runs.
Okay, so the story jumps forward a bit.
Yeah. Time passes. Hector is now living under a new name, William Rolfe.
William Rolfe.
Yeah.
And he's at the races. Doncaster, probably.
Seems like it. And who does he run into?
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Lenise.
Lenise Elroy. Twist of fate.
Does she recognize him? As Hector?
No. She only knows him as Mr. Rolfe, and she actually seems quite interested in him.
Wow. That's complicated. How does Hector feel?
It's weird for him, too. He finds himself kind of missing her company. Wonders if he's falling for her again.
Seriously?
That?
After everything?
He tries to rationalize it, tells himself it's just about wanting revenge, but it's clearly messing with his head.
So what happens next?
He arranges for them to travel back to London together, gets a reserved train compartment just for them.
Okay, setting the scene for a confrontation.
Definitely. And in that private space, Lenise confesses. Tells him she's truly in love with him, with Mr. Rolfe.
Oh, man.
And Hector. He admits, even knowing she's not a good woman, he still feels her charm. But then he starts talking. About Hector Woodridge. Doesn't say it's him yet. Talks about the conviction, how he believes Hector was innocent, ruined by a woman.
Laying it on thick.
Oh, yeah. Describes the woman as a coward. Knew the truth. Could have freed Hector, but it would have condemned her, so she stayed silent.
Ouch. Does he mention Torquay?
Yes. He brings up that night, seeing her through the blind while Hector Woodridge was outside, suffering. Footsore, hunted, hurt by the hound, hungry, cursing her, praying for justice. He paints a vivid, brutal picture.
How does Lenise react to that?
She's agonized, crying, begging him to stop, and she admits it. I saw his face. I haven't had peace since.
The confession. Finally.
But Hector doesn't stop there. He keeps going, speaking harshly now, delivers the final piece, reveals how Hector Woodridge escaped, thanks to an old boatman, and boarded his brother's yacht, the Seamew, which was lying in Torquay.
Boom. The connection is made. She must realize who he is now.
She gets extremely agitated. It all clicks into place. William Rolfe is Hector Woodridge.
What else does he tell her?
He tells her Hector was taken away, went mad for a while on the yacht but recovered, and now he's safe in a foreign country, never coming back. Sort of implies that the Hector she knew is gone.
And Lenise, still scared.
Terribly. She shudders, admits she's so afraid of Hector Woodridge she'd jump out of the moving train if he were there, says she knows she wronged him.
So she admits her guilt. Does Hector demand more?
He urges her to confess publicly, prove his innocence, reminds her how he suffered, how he kept quiet for her sake back then.
And her response?
She argues she suffered too. It's this really complex moment.
And then, something shifts.
Yeah, completely unexpected. Despite how harsh he's been, Hector looks at her, and his voice changes, becomes gentle.
And she notices.
Instantly, cries out, "Hector!" He helps her up, and in that moment, he realizes the desire for revenge is gone. It's just love.
Love, still.
Yeah. He realizes he always loved her, even in prison, even when he hated her most. And he has this insight.
What is it?
That maybe they were both guilty in the past. In whatever happened with Raoul, the man Hector was accused of killing. He tempted her, she tempted him. It's not simple forgiveness, it's acknowledging their shared flaws.
That's incredibly complex.
Yeah.
And profound.
Yeah, they just sit there in silence, totally overwhelmed.
So what's the decision?
It's swift. A total break. Marry at once as Mr. and Mrs. William Rolfe.
And leave.
Sail for Melbourne, Australia, in a fortnight.
Yeah.
Plan is to live quietly on a station, a farm or ranch, keep out of the world.
And Lenise feels this will fix things.
She hopes a lifetime of devotion to him will help blot out the past. A new beginning.
Does Hector mention money? He was at the races.
Yeah, he mentions winning big on a horse, tearaway, huge payout. But he says he doesn't want more money. His priorities have totally shifted.
So he ties up loose ends back home with Picton.
Yeah, tells Picton, probably in a letter, that he wants Picton to keep Haverton the estate. Hopes to see Picton and Ben and another friend, Sir Robert, just to say goodbye.
Any message for Rita?
Yes, a really touching one. Hopes Picton will be happy with Rita, and asks Picton to tell Rita someday that the tramp she helped, that was his brother, Hector.
Acknowledging her kindness.
Exactly. But he stresses. Hector Woodridge is dead. William Rolfe lives in Australia, cementing the new identity.
So Hector and Lenise sail off. What about the others?
Life goes on. Picton has more racing success, wins the Grand National with another horse.
And Carl Hackler, the prison guy.
Still suspicious of Brack. Wonders if Brack smuggled Hector onto the Seamew, but Brack never gives anything away. That sly old sea dog.
And Australia. How is life for Hector and Lenise?
They settle near Ballarat, Victoria. They seem happy, prosperous, make friends, but the past is still there like a shadow. They don't talk about it, but it's understood.
Does Hector adapt?
Yeah, takes to the life. He even sees Fletcher Denyer, Lenise's old associate in Melbourne once, but avoids him. He's left that world behind.
Does he hear from England?
Yes, gets news from Brack. And it's important news.
What is it?
Brack writes that Brother Bill, the farmer on the moor who helped Hector, is free now.
Why?
Because the person who really committed the crime Hector was blamed for confessed on their deathbed.
Wow. So Hector's name is cleared, legally, even though he's gone.
Seems so. Bill is now working for Brack, looking after his boats. Brack also says Picton's good to him, and that Rolf, Hector, is a good sort too.
Any word from Picton?
Yeah, Picton writes too. Says Tearaway's offspring, the horse Hector won big on, are doing really well. A little link back to his old life.
So, wrapping this all up, it's quite a journey we've traced.
Incredible, isn't it? Started with a yacht in Torquay, a gunshot echo,
Yeah.
and it unfolds into this complex tapestry of injustice, survival, escape.
And kindness.
Yeah.
Those unexpected moments of help were crucial.
Absolutely. Brack, Rita, Brother Bill, their actions changed everything. And then you have the guilt, the fear, driving Lenise.
Leading to that really complex forgiveness.
Yeah.
Not simple, but profound. Acknowledging shared failings.
Yeah, which allows them that chance for a completely new life, even with the past always sort of there in the background.
It really shows how interconnected everything is, doesn't it? Actions,
Yeah.
secrets, how they ripple out.
Definitely. The lives of Hector, Lenise, Picton, Ben, Brack, Rita, all tangled together.
So reflecting on this deep dive, what really stands out to you? Is it Hector's sheer will to survive that fight on the moor?
That's powerful, for sure. Or maybe Rita's simple act of kindness, how much impact that had.
Or Lenice's journey?
Yeah.
The fear, the guilt, the eventual confession.
And maybe that final difficult forgiveness Hector finds. For her, and maybe for himself, too.
Yeah, it leaves you thinking. Which brings us to a final question for you, the listener.
If you had that kind of second chance, a chance to be free from the shadows, legal and emotional, of your past, what kind of new identity would you create?
Yeah. What parts of your old life, your old self, would you choose to leave behind forever?
Something to think about.